So Microsoft has been talking about cloud gaming for a long time. We've had Sarah Bond come out in an interview and say they are purposefully undermining the Xbox in order to change the brand image. If you go and ask the average 100 people on the street what an Xbox is, they're either going to say, I don't know, or they're going to say it's a games console. It's a box that you put under your TV to play video games. That is what it's known for. But Microsoft, with Sarah Bond, is trying to change that perception and trying to make Xbox not just a box, but a brand that is everywhere. An example of this recently is Dyson. Dyson is known for their hoovers, right? Their vacuums, as they're known in the US. But did you know that they do hair dryers? No, you probably didn't. Not a lot of people do, because the moment you say Dyson, the first thing you think of is a vacuum. And that's okay, because that is what the brand was established on. It was built on. That is what Dyson actually built their whole enterprise on. Now they're trying to push out, they're trying to change their image, that they're not just a vacuum company, but they're a more multi-purpose utility company. But that's going to take some time before it actually goes out there. I, for one, didn't even know Dyson made hair dryers until it randomly popped up when I was talking to a friend. And I was like, when did they start doing this? And he told me like it's been a little while. And I was like, I didn't even know. And this is the problem that Xbox has. Now, cloud gaming obviously is still restricted in its current state. Not every game can be played, and that's a huge problem. Even with the Fire Sticks going out there, well, it's fine for the Fire Stick to be there, but you're still limited with what games you can play. You're only really playing the games that are on Xbox or the ones that Microsoft has really paid money for. But what would make this different and what would make this better is if Microsoft actually was able to get every game you purchased on there. This means that if you own the game via Game Pass, that doesn't entitle you to play it on xCloud. If you actually want to play it on xCloud, you need to actually purchase that game to get that privilege. At least that is how I understand it. Now, a tweet was released quite some time ago with a Xbox game chat message, you know, the Xbox Live messaging with Phil Spencer, and he said it was coming later this year. And it looks like that may just be real. So we have this over here from VGT Gaming News. According to XTAS1STV, Xbox insiders will be able to play any title from their personal library via xCloud in November. Only a select few titles will be supported in these tests at first, but there will be thousands of titles available when the feature rolls out to everyone. Full Xbox xCloud gaming is coming closer than ever. Are you interested in xCloud? Now, to me, xCloud has a long way to go before they can actually, you know, in terms of quality, compete with the likes of GeForce Now. But I also still believe that GeForce Now is going to be one that actually merges with xCloud anyway at some point, not now, but probably in like the next 2 years. I can see them actually putting it on there as a thing. But this is slightly different, right? This is looking at your whole Xbox catalog, which doesn't really appear on PC. So I think xCloud is here to stay, at least as the alternative, but I do believe that they do need to up the quality of the actual servers, because running games off what looks like Series S machines probably isn't it. So they do need some work there, but with the fact that they've lost the Ubisoft games, Activision Blizzard games on cloud, it must be a huge blow at least, and this is why I say with the GeForce Now partnership, because that would circumvent that entirely. But as you can see down here, this is major news, take with a grain of salt, and you know, at the end of the day, this has been something that's been coming. Saying it's coming in, you know, for insider testing in November is probably accurate based on what Phil was saying. I think this could actually be really, really, really big for Xbox, especially for Sarah. She's been kind of pivoting Xbox to be everywhere and anywhere. This would also increase software sales if the Game Pass subscription itself won't allow you to. But then not every game is on the subscription anyway, so maybe that's what it's referring to. I'm not sure how it's going to work. When we last looked at it, it said every game that you purchased own will be playable. So Game Pass games you don't own, you're technically renting them. So I think it's a great area. We'll see how that's going to work. I also think when this comes out officially, you're also going to get a cloud subscription only as well, so you don't have to use Ultimate. Obviously, for those that kind of have an Xbox or PC and do go traveling, Ultimate is still going to be the best value. But for those that are out there in those countries that don't really have the option to buy a console, this will actually allow them now to go and buy any game they want and play those games. This is a really big deal. People look at this and say, oh, it's just Xbox. And Jason Schreier recently came out and said that Xbox doesn't know what they're doing. They're looking at the handheld this year. My dude, Xbox has been talking about the handheld for a couple of years now, maybe more. To turn around and say that this is just a thing now, what world are you living in now? I know Jason Schreier does his due diligence, and I know he has the most massive hate boner for Xbox, but actively lying is probably not something that he can do. And no one called him out in that podcast filled with a bunch of gamers, right? A bunch of gamers sat there, listened to his lies at face value, and didn't say anything. Shame on them. Shame on them. But coming back to this would also be great for that handheld, right, that they're talking about, where they can actually just take it on the move. And, at present, if they don't want to install the game, they can just play it through the cloud. It just provides them with so many options. And that's what Xbox has become, the place of options. It gives you the opportunity to play where you want. Do you want to play games at the highest fidelity and the highest ray tracing and highest frame rates? You can go buy a 4090 or a 5090 PC. It's going to cost you a bomb, but you can do just that. Do you want to play console gaming? You can do just that. In 26, they're releasing another console. Do you want to play games on the move? You can do just that through your mobile, soon to be a handheld, among other things, tablets, whatever. They're giving you the choice to play, and this is what Sarah Bond is trying to do, to make Xbox everywhere, so you're not restricted to just buy a box. And if we're looking at countries like Japan, who are moving past the box now and want to kind of game wherever they want to game, and with the new generation of coming through of gamers, they don't even like controllers half the time. But aside from that, they don't sit in front of a box anymore. They're always on their phones or their tablets or something playing games, and mobile gaming is improving all the time. So trying to tap into that market is really important, and trying to capsulate that market is even more important. Hence where King comes in and the expertise from there. You've got the Microsoft Store coming as well for mobile games. That's already in internal testing, and we should hear something maybe by the end of this year, early next year, regarding that as well. So it's all kind of coming together for Xbox. And this would be the icing on the cake. If they can get this out by the end of this year, that would actually be really impressive. But folks, that's all I really have to say on this. I think this is pretty big, and people shouldn't underestimate it. The fact that you can play any of your purchased games, over the cloud, is a huge deal. Some will undermine this, some will try to pass this off, but this is a huge, huge deal. And people, I just don't think they can wrap their heads around that just yet. But let's see what happens in November. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that discussion. Definitely going to be talking about this on our meeting on, our podcast on Tuesday, and hopefully I'll see you then. Right, folks. Until the next one, remain legend.